Always tell you, join Cricket Connected for the best cricket, best entertainment, and the best views of the Sydney Harbour front. Well, that's what's on offering behind Brett Lee, who's joining us from Sydney. Brett, just move aside. We like your face, but there it is, not too far from the Opera House. Well, let's get started. Usually the IPL is only about on-field battles, but this one is different. The 8 squads, support staff, TV crews, everyone needs to come together to beat an invisible enemy off the field as well. The COVID-19 virus I'm talking about. And the organisers are leaving no stone unturned in preparing the best plans to deal with this Herculean task. Brett, the UAE's got its glitz and glamour, right? It's going to be very hard to keep the distractions at bay. It's such a long tournament. How do you ensure that every player, everyone in the bubble follows the rules to the T?
I don't reckon any player would want to go out and do the wrong thing firstly. I believe that all sportsmen, certainly the cricketers, will make sure that they do the right thing.
The foreign players have put in a request for an occasional round or two of golf.
Oh dear.
Maybe on the iPad. Look, it's an 8 to 9 week tournament. They're getting paid very, very well. They're putting on a great show for the world. So, you know, embrace that 8 weeks. Learn the guitar. See, I love being in my hotel room.
What about crowds? Where are you on that, Sanjay?
The players will obviously miss the buzz at the ground, but when, again, there's so much at stake, they know that millions of people are watching on TV. So if at all they feel slightly different, the noise isn't there because, you know, noise is a big part of the IPL. Mumbai Indians, you know, when they play at the Wankhede Stadium, Delhi, Firozshah Kotla, RCB at Bangalore, you know, that's part of the IPL charm. And the players will miss it, but will that result in less intense performances? No way, because they're playing to win.
There are about 350 odd players and support staff. Could there be maybe a penalty or something to deter everyone even further?
Well, maybe it's just if they don't adhere by the COVID-19 rules or the bubble rule, it's called, you know, the sort of bubble, that they miss a game or something. But I don't think that the guys would do it out of, you know, doing the wrong thing. You know, we've seen how people now can't shine the ball. It could be an honest mistake. I don't think that if they say you can't leave the hotel, if you leave the hotel, you're pretty stupid, and then you should miss a few games definitely for it.
Sanjay, of course, we would have wanted the World Cup too, but in these tough times, the IPL puts so many more Indian cricketers and people at work.
You know, IPL is almost like it galvanizes one of the most important economies in world cricket, which is India. So IPL had to be the first T20 tournament to happen. You know, the last time we saw the Indian T20 team, it looked a certain way, but there's going to be at least 2 IPLs, I think, before the next World Cup, T20 World Cup. So you'll have a lot of these performances coming and changing the dynamics a little bit. People will feel cemented in the team, established. They will all be challenged. So it's going to be wonderful to watch. You know, people like Rahul, who at the moment looks a certainty. Rishabh Pant gets 2 IPLs to, you know, stake a claim. Dhoni will be playing 2 IPLs. So, yeah, fun.
Brett, no-brainer. Most of the teams have their squads built around home conditions. Now, the shift in the UAE is actually going to check or test their depth.
There's one part of me that says, should we allow the teams to pick 2 more players because it's been changed? But there's also the other part of me that goes, well, it's not too dissimilar. I mean, it's not like they're going to play in South Africa or Australia where the wickets would be a lot more bouncy. When you pick a team as a coach and as a manager, you know, you want to cater for everything. So you actually want to pick a team and, a squad that will cater for those wickets that sometimes you're not expected to get. And it's a team that can actually adhere to the different changes, you know, learning how to deal with staying in the bubble, learning how to deal with hopping on the bus with a mask on, getting to the ground with no like fans watching. That will be the team that will go on, I think, to win the Indian Premier League.
At least the only good part to come out of this not traveling a lot is that recoveries would probably be better. No early morning flights. You don't have to unpack recaps. You can spend time on recovery.
I think playing at the one venue or at least smaller amounts of venues, going back to the bubble, staying there, getting up in the morning and then traveling back to the same bubble and then the same venue, it'd be very easy for the players, I think. So you're not hopping on a plane, hopping on a bus the whole time.
Quite sure every player would abide by all the SOPs, and the IPL sets a benchmark, not just for cricket, but also for other sports. A team quite used to setting benchmarks, by the way, is in focus on Cricket Connected. Today, on our countdown, we look at one team on every show and bring you a SWOT analysis. And we begin with the Chennai Super Kings. Can the Daddy Army Do it again. Brett, when your captain is MSD, no point asking what's Chennai's biggest strength.
I reckon their strength is their players who are a bit more elderly, a bit more mature.
Yeah, actually, conditions in UAE will suit Chennai Super Kings and Dhoni's style of leadership. When you look at the numbers, in about 62 internationals, T20 internationals in UAE, 200 has been crossed only once. So if you go by that, obviously when the world-class players come in, you might see different numbers. But when you just look at the numbers so far, you expect the IPL to be in third gear, and that is where Dhoni and his boys are the best.
Harbhajan Singh, Piyush Chawla, Imran Tahir, Jadeja, Santner, Karan Sharma, not just numbers, but also the experience. Is it the best in attack?
Look, I think it's definitely right up there, and that will definitely suit those wickets. We've seen that recently. I looked at the forecast. Next 2 or 3 weeks, it's 40 degrees plus. The humidity isn't too bad. It's not like Chennai, which is very humid. You mentioned all those bowlers, those spinners. They'll get some big rips and big turn. I reckon, like Sanjay said, they are definitely suited for this tournament and should definitely be favourites.
Sanjay, a lot of talk about these players not being actively involved in cricket. They're being a little rusty, but it's become a little level playing field for them because every cricketer who's coming in comes action for 5-6 months.
Eventually, what's going to happen? Because these are guys who are used to sort of suddenly turning up in the West Indies or playing in New Zealand. Next week, they are in India. So they are adjusting to conditions a lot better and getting into form, and everything happens a lot quicker these days than during our time. So expect all these players to be a little rusty. Maybe the guys who don't play as much will be a little more rusty, but this is a long IPL. So when you get to the business and the middle phase, all of them would have shaken their rust off, and it will be a level playing field.
Given how eager MS has been, he's in Chennai for a camp in March. They again want to travel first to the UAE. Do you think he's just hungry for a lot more?
Look, I think he's a wonderful captain. He's a wonderful player. He's world class. He's a great guy off the field. He ticks every single box. I'm a big fan of MSD. I love what he does with his team. Any person or any player that's been captain, particularly the foreigners, love playing under MSD because he actually gives them so much. He's such a warming character. Apparently his door's always open. You come in for a chat. He's such a great guy to have as a leader.
What are you expecting from MSD, the batter?
This is Dhoni's return after 14 months, playing against guys who are returning after 5 or 6 months. So it's not going to be so bad. And the Dhoni that we know, and these are people, Tendulkar, Dhoni, Virat Kohli as well. When they come onto a public stage, then they're going to be showing their best. Their fitness will be top class. So when you see Dhoni, I'm sure that's what he's also trying to show people, that I'm fit and he's ready. And IPL is his domain. He knows IPL better than anyone else. So Dhoni, the batter, I don't see much of a change from the last season or the season before that. I don't see that you're going to see a big drop or anything at all. Because the conditions are so suitable for Dhoni's kind of batting, you might see another surge coming through as well.
The Royal Challengers Bangalore, still in search for their maiden IPL trophy. Could it be lucky number 13 for RCB? Well, Sanjay, for a start, RCB need a good start. I mean, you can't be playing catch-up 4 to 5 games into the tournament. But do you think what really adds to their worry is the availability of some of their top players at the start of the tournament?
We've always talked about some players missing at the start and then you've got to, catch up and stuff like that. But eventually it's got to be about how you play over a long period of time. They have some geniuses, not even great players. They've got some geniuses in the team. And despite that, we haven't quite seen the winning result. Now, again, I'm going to look at the department to see whether they have any game changer with the spin department. I'm looking at Washington Sundar, Chahal and Pawan Negi as the 3 spinners because those are the ones that will make a difference is what we expect in UAE, just going by the track record.
Whatever you've seen of Virat leading the side, where do they probably need to step up?
I just want Kohli just to go out there and enjoy his cricket. Take all the pressure off himself as a captain. Take all the pressure off himself as a player. Because he's good enough. He's so good at that level. I think he sometimes, with all the pressure that's going on around the team and people are failing, he tries to sort of get all the players on his back to try to carry him, filter all that pressure through all of the squad, and all the squad should help out Kohli as well.
Also, quick reminder to the viewers, they have the lowest squad strength. They only have 21 players. Do any of the other players inspire confidence where you would say, okay, it's not just about Virat and ABD. This person will win you the tournament. This one would.
Now they've got Aaron Finch, who I hope can become the guy who gives them a little bit of steadiness, because there's a lot of class and flash and brilliance. And then Aaron Finch becomes the guy who can just hold it all together.
I think that Aaron Finch could be that or actually play that role of a vice captain to a Kohli.
Aaron Finch as a batsman in the UAE played 5 matches, scored 10 runs.
Exactly the point, Brett, and we were trying to make, isn't it, Brett? We were talking about his leadership.
He is due to score runs, see?
Brett, one final question. Who's got to take the death overs headache off Virat's head? Navdeep Saini, Umesh Yadav, Morris?
I'd have to go Saini, because I've looked at his what the term they use in bowling terms, Sanjay's rig. Now, he had a rig like Sanjay when he was playing. He got the 8-pack. He's got the 8-pack going. He's looking fit, looking strong. He's got the goods. He can bowl a beautiful Yorker. I reckon give it to the local guy that can step up to the plate.
Sanjay, Virat's never really played in the UAE since 2014. The others have at least played in Asia Cup. Do you reckon that'll be a factor, or shouldn't worry too much?
No, these are champions, So the answer is every time the same with people like AB de Villiers or Dhoni or Virat Kohli. It will take them a little while to get used to the conditions. And these guys want to succeed so desperately that they'll find a way. So I don't think it is an issue about having not played there. I mean, and UAE is not that different, from India. So